Welcome back. This is Dan Havey with CF Ninja Hacks, and today I'm going to shoot one more domain video. This is probably the 12th domain video I've shot for ClickFunnels 1.0 Classic and now 2.0. And in this one here, we're going to get much more in-depth into how to get it set up to work with your emails properly as well. And then at the end, I shot another video a couple weeks ago getting really in-depth on how to make sure you get it set up so that your emails are working properly inside of ClickFunnels. And I'm going to append that. It's about 11 minutes. I'm going to append that to the end of this training here so that by the time you get done, you should have a really good understanding of how to get your domain set up and how to get your email working so you got the best chance that it's going to start getting into people's inboxes and not in their junk. So we're going to start off with, we're going to connect an existing domain. So I already purchased a domain over at GoDaddy. So GoDaddy is my domain registrar. They are not my hosting because technically ClickFunnels is the one hosting your site. So a lot of times people say, oh, my host is or whatever. No, where you buy it from is your domain registrar. That is a proper term. So what we are going to do is we're going to set one up for a new domain I have, which is called Funnel. Not Funnel. We got here Fight Club Apps.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that out of there because I'm going to need that again here in a minute. And we are going to click on continue. So fightclubapps.com. And we are going to say that we want to add that domain. And of course, you saw I put the www subdomain in the front of it. Now, we could go here and say start domain setup, but I find that sometimes that's a little bit glitchy, so I'm going to show you the manual way to do it. If you want to do it the automated way, go right ahead. I'm not going to make any guarantees, and if it doesn't work, don't come talking to me about it because I can't help you out with it. So what we're going to do here instead is we're going to say here to show the DNS table. So we're going to do that right here, and we're going to see a bunch of gobbledygook in here that we need to copy all of this into Cloudflare. So the next thing you want to do is go and create a new Cloudflare account. And we're going to go to a Cloudflare right here. We're going to find our account and what we're going to do. Now, if you don't have an account, create an account. They're absolutely free, and this won't cost you anything. And so you're going to want to come up here somewhere in the top right corner. Once you get logged in and everything, it should say add somewhere. And so we're going to add an existing domain. If you were to add a new domain, that would mean you would be buying one from GoDaddy, from Cloudflare. I'm going to probably screw up the names here a bunch. So we're going to do Fight Club Apps right there. And it says quick scan for DNS records. We're going to let it do that. So we're going to click on continue. Generally speaking, if it says recommended, you want to do that. We're going to come down, click on our free account. Going to continue there. Now what it's doing is it's going out and it's looking at GoDaddy and it's deciding which records, if any, it wants to pull in from GoDaddy. And we're going to see here it just pulled in 4 different records. Now the thing I will tell you is any records that you have coming in that are A records, quadruple A records, or CNAME records, you can delete all of them. Now in this case here, we want to leave the one for www pointing to... No, actually, we don't. We'll leave this one here and we'll modify that one. So we're going to delete out these top 3. And so we got delete 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to see on my left-hand side, I have open over here one that I already have set up for my CF Ninjas. And this one is set up properly. It's working properly. And so I have it open over here just as a reference for myself as we go along. Now, we're going to change a couple things here. So we got www pointing to this right there. So let's go back into our GoDaddy here. Not GoDaddy. Like I said, I'm going to mess up the names. So we'll come back into ClickFunnels. There we go. We're going to copy this, and we're going to come over here, and we're going to paste that in here by editing this. And what do I have to do? It says delete. It's not letting me edit it. So can I just edit here? Let me see here. Oh, they changed this. Okay. That's interesting. And you're going to see over here, I got www pointing at ClickFunnels, and I have the DNS turned off. So we're going to turn off the proxy and everything right there. And then let me just see here. No, it's not letting me do it. So let me delete this one out. That's interesting. So now we're going to add a record, and we're going to say we want a CNAME record. and we're going to say www is pointing at ClickFunnels, and we're going to now save it. Okay, so now it's in there, right? And now the second thing we're going to do is what normally I would do first, but I had that record in there, so I decided I would do it. We need to do this verification record right here. This basically says to Cloudflare that you are verifying that you want to connect it to ClickFunnels, essentially. So we're going to copy this, and we see we have the @ and we have a text record there. So we're going to come over here. We're going to add this. Open this up, scroll all the way down to the bottom. We're going to put in an @ right here. That just says the root domain. And then we are going to paste in what we got right there, and we are going to save it. Now at this point here, we can continue to activation. So we can continue this, and then we're going to get these name servers. These name servers need to be taken and put into GoDaddy so that the internet knows that when it gets to GoDaddy looking for that domain, it says, no, go over to Cloudflare and find them over there. So we're going to copy this here. We're going to come into GoDaddy for the first time. And in my case here, I'm using GoDaddy. You may have Namecheap or Bluehost or any number of other domain registrars out there, but you're looking for the same kind of stuff. You got to find where you control the DNS. First, you got to go to the domain you're working on. Then you got to find where the DNS is, and then you have to find where the name servers are. Inside of the name servers, then, you'll find a place where you can change your name server. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to say, I want to use my own name servers, and we're going to paste in that one we just copied, come back over, grab another one, go back into GoDaddy, paste the second one, and then we will save that right there. Now, I will show you very quickly here, we want to continue. If at any point you ever want to disconnect your domain from Cloudflare, you're going to come in here and do the exact opposite of what we just did. So let me just reload this page, because in GoDaddy this goes usually very quickly. We're going to come back here to our DNS. We're going to come to our name servers right there. It already was there. And we see that we just put in our Cloudflare name servers. Now to change this back, so it's no longer connected to Cloudflare, you just come back in here, you say I want to go back to the GoDaddy name servers, and you save it. That's all you have to do. It will be disconnected from Cloudflare. You can then go into your Cloudflare account and delete that out if you want, or frankly, you don't have to. So that's all we have to do inside of GoDaddy. So now we're going to come back over here into Cloudflare, and we are going to click on continue, and it brings us back here to the main page. We can look around, read anything you want. If you want to remove this completely from Cloudflare, you just click down here. It will take it out of there. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our DNS, because we have all the rest of these records we have to put in. So we got the first two done here. So now let's come in. Well, actually, let's validate our ownership first. And so we'll click on that. So we validated the ownership. It found these first two. That's good. So now we need to put in the rest of this here. So we just need to click to copy here. We have a text, and we'll come back and grab that in a minute. So we need to set up a new record. Scroll down. It's going to be a text record. We're going to put this down here in the bottom part. And we'll come back up here, and we will just have to highlight that there. Copy it. Paste that in right here, and we will scroll down and we will save it. One thing you will notice right now, there are not any quotes around this text down here at the bottom, and it's also one big long string. Once we do another step, it will put quotes around it and break it into two strings, and that's good. We want it to do that when we get another step done, and I go further into that in the video I will be appending at the end of this. So let's come over here. We're going to copy the fourth one down. This is our SPF record. This was our DKIM record up here. Here's our SPF. We have a DMARC, and then we have a mailer down here at the bottom. So we got text and an @ we need to deal with. So let's add this again. Come down all the way to the bottom. Put in our @ which signifies the root domain, and then we will paste this in. Now, another thing right here, make sure that right here, that is a tilde. So it says, in my case here, I'm pretty sure that's a dash on there. You got to like really lean in. It looks like a dash that needs to be a tilde. So backspace 1, and we're going to put in a tilde, which is right underneath your escape key on your computer. So it's the button where there's so it's got a couple little squiggly lines on there. The top one, so if you shift and hit that button, that will put a tilde in there, as that's what we want. So we want to save this. And then we're going to go and grab the second from the last one. We will copy that, and it's text and underscore DMARC. So again, we're going to create a text record, and we're going to do underscore DAMRK. Okay, good to go. Paste that in. And again, this is going to change here in a little bit as well. You're going to see some changes there. And again, we go more in depth in the later half of the video. And then we'll get the very last one here. Got a CNAME, and then it says CF2 mail. We're going to go there. CNAME, CF2 mail, and then paste that in there. And I do believe we'll come over here to my cheat sheet. We do want to turn that off, and we will click on save. So now we have this here. Let me reload the page. And let's see how this looks. So we got our CNAME here of CF2 pointing to mailer, CNAME of www pointing to ClickFunnels. We got 4 text records. One is the domain key, which is the same as this one here. We have our SPF. Where's my SPF? SPF right there. Google site. Don't worry, it pulled this one in from something else. Don't worry about that one. And we got our Sea of Ninjas pointing at ClickFunnels. And then we got our DMARC and that there. So, and I guess over here I already put quotes around things. I wonder if I had set something on by accident. But either way, we need to put in one more record, because we want to have the root domain always pointing towards our subdomain. So we're going to add one more record here. It's going to be a CNAME record. And what we're going to do is we're going to put in our root domain. So that is fightclubapps.com. And we want to point it to the same place we pointed this one down here. So let's just come back over here, be simplest. We will grab that out, and we're going to point this thing at ClickFunnels, and we are going to leave the proxy on this one right here, and we're going to save that right there. So that's how this should look as we reload the page. They should resort themselves into the same order as I have over here, I think. Yes, they should. So we got that. And like I said, there's one here, the Google site verification that pulled in from something else, and I could have technically deleted that one out over here. So now we have the DNS set up on here. So now the next thing we need to do is we need to start dealing with, well, in fact, let's do this first. Let's jump around a little bit. Let's come down here to the bottom, because right now we put in Fight Club Apps pointing to ClickFunnels. We want to make sure that when somebody types in just Fight Club Apps, it goes to the www version, which then gets it connected to our ClickFunnels. So we're going to come over into the sidebar, going to come down to Rules, and we're going to go to Page Rules. And then we're going to create a page rule, and I'll do the same thing over here on the left-hand side so you can see the finished result. Go to Page Rules, and it's this one here. The second one is turned off. So we're just going to look at the first one. And so what we need to do, and the easiest thing to do, is just grab a hold and copy this here. We're going to copy that. We're going to paste that into the top line, but we're going to take out the www and the period. We're going to take that out. We're going to say here we want to create this as a forwarding URL. We want it to be a 301 permanent redirect. And then down here at the bottom, where do we want it to go? We want it to go https:// We're going to paste in what we copied from up above and take off the asterisks and say $1. What this all says is if somebody types in fightclubapps.com with or without a path on the end, they will automatically forward to https://fightclubapps.com/$1. The $1 says is if they put a path on the end here, that grab a hold of that path, put it on the end of here, so it will go to the same place. It'll go to the page that they were intending on going to. So we're going to save and deploy the page rule right there. Here it is, good to go. All right, now we can start working on some of the other stuff, the security and email and stuff. So we can come in here to our email, And what we want to do, let me do it over here as well so you can see the final results. We're going to come here to our DMARC management, and you see here it's already fully working. Here it's not turned on yet, so we're going to enable our DMARC management. And it's going to tell us what our existing record is that we pasted in there ourselves and what it's going to update it to. And even once it updates it, this still is not completely correct, but we will move forward. We'll click on next here because you see it added on a whole bunch of stuff. So right here we have on the left, we have reject, we have soft fail, and we have yes. Here we have none, so we have to fix that so that this also says reject. So let's go over here to the DNS for the one we already have set up. Okay, it was our DMARC we were looking for. It says it in big bold letters right there. And you see over here it says P equals reject. So what we want to do is come back over here and we want to go to our DNS right here. And now we will find our DMARC and we will come down here and we're going to change this to P equals reject. Because what it's doing here is it's saying if there's any kind of like spam bots or anything coming at the emails here, it just wants to reject them. It doesn't want to think about it. It just get rid of them. There are other people who have different opinions on how to do this, but I talked to Carlos, who's been doing this stuff for years, used to work for Microsoft. He said that this is the best way to do it, is just turn it on to reject so that any kind of bad emails that are trying to get into your system, that they just get blocked out or whatever's happening. I'm not even exactly sure. I'm not much of an expert when it comes to emails, so I listen to people who are much smarter than me, and then I shoot videos and send them out to all of you. So we got this over here now set up right, and we got this one set up right. So the next thing we have to do, let's go back here to our email first, just to test it to see that it is now set up right. So we got reject, soft fail, and yes. And in the later part of this video, you're going to see how you can test all this stuff, different tools and whatnot that you can use to test to see that all this is set up properly, and then also actually send yourself an email and then be able to look through it and get some ideas on what you can do to improve your email. So again, they go through the systems as smoothly as possible. So now the next thing we have to look at here is our SSL TLS. And we'll come over here, we'll click on that as well. We're going to go to our Edge certificate over here, and we're going to scroll down, and you're going to see some things are turned on. Always use HTTPS. And in this case here, I also have on opportunistic encryption. That one, I'm not 100% sure. It's best to turn that one on, but I do believe it is. And then this one here, automatic HTTPS rewrite. So two of these have to do with making sure it ends up on the secure layer of your site, not on just your HTTP, wherever it is here. So we're going to set that up over here as well. We're going to come to our Edge certificates. We're going to scroll down, always use HTTPS. Want to do that. Encryption's already been turned on, and then rewrites also has already been turned on. So that was it. That's all we had to do there. So one last thing we have to do here then is to turn on our security bots. So we're going to turn on a security. We're going to come down here to our bots, and we are going to turn these on. So this will help with what are known as DDoS attacks or any other kind of bots that are trying to get to your site. This will help out. Now you can also upgrade your plan right here. I think it's like $20 a month if you upgrade to help block other issues that have to do with bots. And then also we are working on an application right now wherein you can actually put in a CAPTCHA on your page that's kind of like a behind the scenes silent kind of a CAPTCHA that it will actually challenge any kind of bots that are coming to your forms on your site. It will challenge them and it'll knock them down. And I started testing that yesterday after I built it, and it seems to do a very, very good job. Probably, I won't say percentages, but it's high percentage of the bots that it gets. So it'll really help to knock that down and have the bots no longer filling out your forms and putting their email addresses and stuff into your forms. So let me see here. I think that is it. Let me go back to the DNS. Oh wait, no, it's not it. What am I thinking here? We have not finished up inside of ClickFunnels yet. So we got to come back here to ClickFunnels. I was just about ready to check out, and then nope. That's not right. So I did connection. Connection was verified. Check connection here. Let me just pause this for a minute. Okay, I had to click on a couple things to get everything to basically show properly. It was already turned on. So it says here in Cloudflare that we are now protecting your site. So Cloudflare's connected just fine. We already saw that our name servers were set here in GoDaddy. Over here now we have all greens. All I had to do was refresh the page, or I went out and I came back in and refreshed the page, and everything looks okay there. Let's just check that connection one more time. Everything's good to go there. Now let's come into our email settings. And over here, we can come over here to email domains, and we see we got all green check marks there. Now you're going to see SMTP setting right here is unchecked. You do not have to set up an SMTP because ClickFunnels handles all of your email for you. In case you don't know, SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. It's basically the mailman that grabs a hold of your email and sends it out and puts it into somebody else's email box. So normally if you're going to set this up, and you can come over here if you really, really want this, you can set it up. I think they only integrate with SendGrid, but it's not necessary because ClickFunnels runs all of their emails through SendGrid already, is what I've been told. And I go more into this in the later part of this video, but the other part of this is, so for myself, I had been running I'd been running on 1.0, and I've been running my emails through 1.0 through SendGrid for probably at least 6 years prior to wanting to connect it to 2.0. So in my case, I was already used to paying every month for SendGrid, plus I already had it set up in SendGrid, so I did hook up the SMTP into SendGrid. Most people, especially if you got a brand new domain, you've never run any emails through it before, you probably don't want to. But if you think you're having issues with deliverability, that is one thing you can do, is to come in here and set up an SMTP through SendGrid. And someday when I get around to it, I'm going to shoot a video on how to do it. It's actually not that terribly complicated. And in fact, I can probably show you here really quickly what it looks like if you do it. Sea of Ninja Hacks right here, DNS. And so there's just a number of things here. So like here's SendGrid.net. There's a whole bunch of SendGrid stuff in here. Here's SendGrid. I don't know which ones all this is in here. But you put in a bunch more CNAME, TXT, MX records in here, and then it connects everything together just like it would have before. So that's what you have to do there. Now, as far as the rest of this here, we can come in here to email addresses. So it automatically put in one here for me. Let's say I want to add an email address, and we'll just call this one support. And why do I need two? Okay, I guess we'll do, I just typed in support 3 times. So we got support@fightclubapps.com, and we can add that email address. So now we have that there. And then you can come over here to your general settings, and you got your marketing email address right there. You can put in a footer right here. I think it automatically does the unsubscribe if you put nothing in there. But again, check the help docs on that one. It says about that. And then we got our email addresses. So we can say from, and we can say, no reply if we want to use that one. We can use, so any of these here you can put in. I thought it would do the other one, but maybe because I have not, let's reload the page here. Let's see if that support email now comes in after I reload. Okay, here we go. So here we got our support at Fight Club. And that's one thing with ClickFunnels, because it doesn't necessarily save everything automatically. You just sometimes, if stuff isn't showing up, just reload the page, and that normally will work out. So I think now I've hit everything that I wanted to, and so then watch the next 11 minutes where I get much more in-depth in how to make sure that your emails get delivered. If you're not worried about emails at all, you don't have to watch it. But if you are, watch that next 11 minutes. And as always, if you got any questions, just let me know. Okay, let me show everybody some of the stuff we were talking about on the FBC call regarding the email addresses. And a lot of this came from Carlos who is an absolute genius in this stuff, and so he taught me everything I'm about to show you for the most part. So let's go into our DNS settings. And inside of ClickFunnels, when you do this, there are two issues in there that you want to make sure are correct. One is, let me just see here. Let's see here on the SPF. We're going to come in here, and if you have more than one SPF in here, let's say you had put in an SPF and then you're putting in ClickFunnels or something, what you want to make sure is that they are both on the same line here together, because they could be two different records. So it should be like here is include secureserver.net and include mailer.myclickfunnels.com. Make sure they are all together in one single record. You don't want them spaced out over multiple records. If you have an existing SPF on your domain and you run through the ClickFunnels whole process of setting up the domain, it should pick up an existing one if you have it, and then add include mailer.myclickfunnels.com to the end of it. Also, but if you have an older one and you want to go in and fix it, you're going to have to do that manually. The other thing is, here you see in front of the A is what is known as a tilde, and so that's to the left of the 1 key on your keyboard in the top left corner right under escape. Make sure that is a tilde there and not a dash sign, because if it's a dash sign, that's going to cause you some problems. Make sure that that is a tilde there. The other one we want to look at was the DKIM. Well, I'll come back to the DKIM here in a second, because there's some changes there. It's the DMARC right here. If you do the standard ClickFunnels setup, it will say here P equals none. You want that to be P equals reject. Now you're seeing also here a whole string of other stuff here at the end. This comes about because this came from, now I'm going to draw a blank on his name. He found somewhere that said the best setup that they recommend is to come in here now on your email, come here to DMARC management and turn this on. I think there was an on button on here somewhere. And when you do that and you got everything set up properly, it should look like this. DMARC policy of reject, soft fail, and DKIM in use of yes. So you want those three showing up like this in here. And when you turn this on, that's why I said I'm going to come back to the DNS here for a minute. Once you turn that on, what it will do is it will put quotes around all the items you put in here for ClickFunnels, all the text record down here for ClickFunnels that you put in. And on the, is it the DKIM? Yeah, on the DKIM, it actually breaks it up into 2 bits. So you got a quote here and a quote here, and then you got another quote and on and on. And here there's a slash. The slash is irrelevant. We had one yesterday. It was like 3I3, and it split it up right in the middle. How does it decide where to split it up? I have no idea, but you're going to see this in here, so just be aware of that, and you're good to go, and we'll just cancel out of there. So that's what you want to be seeing in here, and then you can run a tool like this here is mxtoolbox.com. You can come in here, put in the name of your domain, and it will start checking everything for you. And so if you get any kind of orange or green check marks, and there's a lot of different things here, we can come down, we can do, let me see here, well, let's do a DMARC lookup. And you always have to hit enter after you do that. And so come in here, give you all kinds of information. Here is our P equals reject again. And we got all green, so we're good to go there. So you can also check your DKIM right there, hit enter. And then there's the SPF right above that as well. Come on, kick in. So here we go. Again, I'm green across the board. And then here, if you do the DKIM before the others, you got to go in here and take the oops. Yeah, let's just put this back in. And then we will say, what was the other one we wanted to do? SPF. And there's DNS. You can see all kinds of stuff. So there's all kinds of information in here. Now I guess I need to hit enter. And okay, so there you go. You can do diagnostics, email health. Once you get this email, now let's do We'll do that, and let's see. Oh, okay, this brings up this. And you're going to see here 2 warnings right there. Carlos says these SOA warnings, you don't have to worry about those at all. Excuse me, that's not a big deal. And then the other tool that they brought up yesterday was mailer-test.com. And you're going to go here, and I got a score of 9.5 out of 10. And what it does, I really can't show it to you because it only allows you 3 per day. So be very judicious about this. The very first page it'll show you, it'll give you an email address. What you need to do is take that email address, come into your ClickFunnels account. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I didn't want everybody to see all those email addresses. So you're going to put it in here, and it's going to look like this right here. And so you're going to want to create yourself. Let me click on this and open it up. That should be okay. We'll come down, open this back down here again. And I don't know why that's showing on the screen. I don't know if you guys could see that the whole time or not. So edit the contact. That's what I did. I came in, dropped in the email address. I said test email, and then I gave it a tag down here. And then what you want to do after that is you want to come into your emails, and you want to just in this case here, I just created a test of an email here, and then we're going to schedule. We're going to edit the broadcast first because you always got to come in here, and you got to come in here to design it and save it. This was just a template I pulled out of ClickFunnels, so we got to publish that. And then what you would do is come in here. So you gave it that tag, so you're going to come in here to edit our audience right here. And we're going to take these out. And I'm going to say contacts is test email 3. So I want to just send it to the person who has a tag of test email 3. And when you do that, you send it. You always got to wait for you get the email that from Russell that says, oh, hey, your broadcast has started sending, which usually takes like 5 minutes or something. And then you come back in here, and then you hit the big button right here underneath where that email address was, and it starts giving you this score. And so you can come through here and say, okay, where do I have mistakes in here? Now, I've spent some time getting mine cleaned up, but one of the things that's whacking me on is 0.5 point because it's listed in rats all. So it seems like just about every time I do this, one of these shows that it was listed poorly somewhere. So not a big deal if you only got 0.5 point. And like I said, I'm at a 9.5 here, but a couple of things to look for. So there's no broken links. So what you're seeing here, that is just fine. What was the one here? This one here, I was surprised by alt tags. You want alt tags on all of your images. If not, it actually knocks you on your score. Content is saved. They don't want to see any short URLs in there, any URL shorteners on the page at all. Content is safe. Okay, so here they're saying they don't want any JavaScript, iframes, embedded content, or applets on there. So you don't want that. You're properly authenticated, so everything is green here. So all that is looking good. Spam Assassin likes you. What I'm always finding here is this down here, the 1.284, that thing there. I've Googled it, and nobody has an answer to what the heck this thing means. So, but the big thing here is I got a score of 0.8, and score below 5, -5, below -5 is considered spam. So I got a long ways to go before it's going to be considered spam. But what was the other one? Let me see if I can find where that was. That it says something about, here you go. The list unsubscribe header is not in there. So I'm getting whacked a little bit on that. It doesn't even say how many points it's taking off. But what I found is, after looking for it, the list unsubscribe header is a thing in an email that shows up at the top of the email that says, hey, this is part of an email blast, whatever the heck it says, click here to unsubscribe. And I was like, I don't think I want to put that in there. I went into SendGrid, which is I have an SMTP set up on here, and I'm running it through SendGrid. I went into SendGrid to see what that was, and that's when it set me off to let me know what that was. Let me see here, tracking, subscription tracking. So that's what this is here. If you'd like to unsubscribe and stop receiving these emails, click here. So you've seen that message on other stuff, and I'm just like, I don't think I want that on the top of every single one of the emails I sent out. So I just opted to not care about that one. But again, at 9.5, I'm not too worried about my score. And also, if you come back in here to SendGrid, I have a 99% reputation in SendGrid. Now, why am I using SendGrid? Because I've had this email address, this domain, in SendGrid for like probably at least 6 years. Since probably 6 years, like since 2018. And I said, if I'm moving everything from 1.0, where I had it all running through SendGrid on this domain, and I'm moving it into 2.0, I'm going to leave it on SendGrid because I got a good reputation there. SendGrid knows me. Best to do that if you're using one long term like this. If you're just starting off brand new, probably won't matter at all, because ultimately ClickFunnels runs their email, we do believe, through SendGrid anyway. So otherwise, up here at the top, you can see like what the HTML version of your email looks like. But like I said, here, images, you want to set those alt images, or they whack you on that. Which kind of makes sense. So like here's the alt image now. I just put in Lee Chapman there for that alt image. And then there's a couple more down here. Down here's alt text, I should say, not alt image, alt text down there. So I've got that in there. And then the source, it gives you all of this gobbledygook. So you can look at that all you would like all day long. So that was it. Just wanted to let you know that so you had mailtester.com, but you only get 3 free per day, so be careful about that. And then here was MX Toolbox, where you get all kinds of information, and SOAs, don't worry about them.